Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, November 21, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems that can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 6:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's almost 30 minutes ago, considering that is 6:38 p.m. now. We have no new tropical cyclone activity that's expected during the next 7 days. But we're definitely going to be keeping our eye on the tropics because we see that there's been a lot of talk, a lot of moisture that's going to be building across the area where we live, the Caribbean, in the next week. So we definitely have to pay close attention just in case we get the next name on the list, which is Tony, and we know the other names, Valerie, William. We'll see if we actually make it down to all of those names before all is said and done with the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. If we take a look at what's happening over the next 7 days in terms of the supercomputer models, every day we have to be checking these out because we know they're updating every single 6 hours for sure. As usual, we're going to be looking at the Euro model at first, then we're going to be looking at the GFS model, and we're going to be making some comparisons for reference to Jamaica right here. So let us see exactly what unfolds. Are we going to be getting in on all of this rain that we've been seeing persistent on the models for the past couple of days? Let us see if it actually is still being persistent, because that's what we look for now. The persistence, the consistency, and if especially the other model as the GFS US model as the global forecast system, if that is showing something similar, then boy, it's definitely possible that we're going to be getting a lot of rainfall for real to wrap up the hurricane season. Alright, so let's go to the next 168 hours and see what's coming. Alright, so first of all, yes, we have the rainfall associated with that cold front. It should be right here to the west of us. We see the line of greens right here between the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. As a matter of fact, if we look back at the infrared satellite images, we can already see the clouds associated with the cold front right here. More so in the way of some high level clouds right here across portions of the Cayman Islands into Cuba and the Bahamas. But we can definitely see that flow behind it, that strong northerly flow, low level flow that is, with that all of that cold air, all of that Christmas breeze definitely lashing portions of the Yucatan Peninsula and western Cuba as we speak. So we can see most of the thunderstorms are affecting portions of Belize, the northeastern portions of Guatemala, as well as the northern portions of Honduras that was just lashed by Sierra only a week ago. Alright, so let us take a look back at the supercomputer model. So yes, the moisture associated with that cold front should be pushing more eastward into Jamaica as we head throughout the day on Friday. By the end of the day on Friday, it should definitely be here, lashing western parishes in Jamaica. We're talking about maybe Hanover, Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, maybe even spilling into sections of St. Elizabeth. As we continue to go out in time, we see what's expected. All of the greens pushing into portions of the island as we head into Saturday, November 23, especially across northern Jamaica. We're going to be getting on that rainfall for sure. Then as we head into Sunday now, I don't know what's happening. It's like a switch has been flipped, and then all of this area across the waters of the Caribbean to the south of Puerto Rico, to the south of the Dominican Republic and Haiti, to the southeast of Jamaica, just starts to moisten up as of right now. Not seeing much across the Caribbean, but clearly in the next couple of days it's going to get very moist and that has been the trend. Look at all of the dark greens, yellows, that represent anywhere from 1 all the way up to 6 inches of rainfall. Not seeing any isobars, not seeing any areas of low pressure, but what we're seeing is a lot of rainfall stretching all the way from Jamaica into portion of eastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, spilling into sections of the eastern Caribbean. As we head into Monday, much of the same. Tuesday, much of the same. Monday and Tuesday, boy, I wonder what next week, Monday and Tuesday, is going to be like, because it looks to be very wet. So who knows, maybe work, if not school, might not be in session. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some kind of flash flood watch, if not a flash flood warning, that's issued by the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. And then as we wrap up the next 7 days, this is as of 12Z on Thursday, November 28th. We see that 7 a.m. we still have a lot of moisture, especially to the south of Hispaniola, to the southeast of Jamaica. Right there, maybe an L, an area of low pressure trying to formulate. But that's the thing, we don't see a significant area of low pressure with lowering of the pressure in general from 1008 all the way down maybe to tropical storm status. We don't see numerous isobars around those areas of low pressure. It's just one big area of low pressure that's going to be, bring a lot of moisture to portions of the Caribbean in general. More of a broad trough in nature than anything else. It's going to be more trough-like, especially with a lot of wind shear. So I wouldn't expect tropical development in order to get the next name on the list, which is Tony. Let us take a look at what the GFS is showing. Just like the Euro, the line of showers associated with the cold front starting to come in late Friday into early Saturday. We see it right there across western Jamaica. Let us continue to go out. We see a lot of the moisture, especially lashing northern Jamaica as we head into late Saturday. So 0Z on Sunday, November 24 is actually 7 p.m. on Saturday, and we see the moisture into Jamaica right there. Then, I don't know what happened, but by the time we head into the day on Sunday now, this is 12Z on Sunday, it's actually 7 a.m. Just like a flip of a switch, the Caribbean just starts moistening up. Look at all of the dark green stretching all the way from the eastern to the central Caribbean to the southeast of Jamaica right there. A lot of rainfall definitely going to be in store heading into Monday, even more robust Tuesday. Look at the dark greens into the yellows, oranges, and reds that represent anywhere from 2 all the way up to the 16 inches of rainfall. If that actually verifies, even as we head into Wednesday, we see something even more robust taking place, more of an area of low pressure trying to formulate right there between Jamaica and Haiti. We see the L, we see the broad spin right there with the isobar. As we head into Thursday, not much different, and then we're going to be stopping it right there. 18Z on Thursday, November 28th. That's the next one, John. 68 hours. That's the next 7 days. Clearly, by the end of the next 7 days, both the Euro and the GFS must still have something right there to the east of Jamaica, to the south of Hispaniola for sure. Something is going to be trying to formulate, but definitely going to be struggling to formulate. So this would explain why the Hurricane Center hasn't highlighted anything yet, but we know these things go. We could get it up maybe in the morning, we could get it up maybe on Saturday, Sunday. We just have to wait and see exactly what happens. As of right now, the main takeaway is the increase in moisture that is expected over the next 7 days, and as such, the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that a lot of rainfall is coming, stretching all the way from the Bahamas into the Turks and Caicos, Jamaica down into Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, into the ABC Islands, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. And we see all of this represents the dark reds, that represents 2 inches of rainfall. The purples represents up to 3 inches of rainfall. The pinks into the salmon colors, that represents the 4 all the way up into the 8 inches of rainfall range on the Euro. And the Euro has been trending even more wetter than normal over the next 7 days. It wasn't like this a couple days ago. We were looking more so on the GFS for a map like this, but now it's starting to cave to what the GFS has been showing, and the GFS is even more robust with the rainfall. Look at the GFS. Yes, the same spots are being shown for an increase in rainfall, but we're starting to get in on some of the light shades of blues. And what does the light shades of blue or what do the light shades of blue represent? represents right here at the top of the scale in terms of rainfall. We're talking about anywhere from 10 all the way up to 15, maybe 20 inches of rainfall, or especially eastern Jamaica, maybe the western peninsula of Haiti. If this actually verifies, we're in big trouble. A lot of flash flooding, mudslides, you name it. I guess this is going to be the last big thing before all is said and done with the hurricane season. Boy, if this actually verifies, we're definitely going to be getting in a lot of flooding for sure, if not landslides. Hopefully no loss of life though. If anything, just bring the rainfall to cool down the temperatures and keep water in our pipes for the dry season. That's December through to April. We can even see the close-up of the rainfall totals showing Jamaica, the greens, yellows, oranges, reds into the purples. Yesterday the euro wasn't even showing the purples. That represents up to 150 millimeters of rainfall or more. Now it's starting to cave some more to the GFS's solution, and we still see a lot of rainfall in store, anywhere from 50 all the way up to the 125 millimeter range. On the Euro model, the GFS even more robust, anywhere from the greens into the yellows and the oranges, but the pinks, the reds, the purples into the grays that represent anywhere from 50 all the way up to the 500 millimeters of a rainfall range. That is just ridiculous. If that actually verifies, Portland and St. Thomas would definitely be in a lot of trouble for sure. And we can also see northern Jamaica next in line for most of the rainfall, especially with that cold front setting the stage for what's to come on the north coast for sure. And whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you all posted as we head through it all. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can see this blue spiked line right here associated with that cold front. It's right there off to the west of us. As a matter of fact, this map was posted this morning at 1 p.m. As a matter of fact, 18 UTCs as of 1 p.m. today. So I'm pretty sure that the blue spike line is definitely closer. We already saw it somewhere between the Cayman Islands and Jamaica right there on the infrared satellite images. We can see the tail end of another cold front right here to the north, right here at the northern portion of North Atlantic. And we have a ridge of high pressure right here to the west of Africa that we know is responsible for sending all of those easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. That red line right here at the bottom of the main development region associated with the intertropical convergence zone. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. We're talking about the frontal system, that's the cold front right here across the western Caribbean, definitely lashing portions of Central America with some amount of rainfall, showers and thunderstorms as we speak. We can definitely see the flow. Look at the flow. All of this that you see pushing from north to south, that's the low level flow, that cold dry air behind the cold front. That's the Christmas breeze that's definitely lashing portions of the Yucatan Peninsula, western Cuba as we speak. We can see that we still are getting in some amount of cloud cover from that little surface trough between Jamaica and Haiti, but that's just it. Cloud cover, not much in the way for rainfall at all with the amount of dry air that's plaguing us. We can see the usual thunderstorm activity across Costa Rica, Panama, sections of southern Venezuela, Colombia. We can make out the clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone right here. That's where the air from the northern hemisphere meets the air from the southern hemisphere. And then we have a lot of rising air clouds, building showers and thunderstorms. We're starting to see a bit of a moistening up right here on the visible satellite images across the eastern to the central Caribbean. Maybe that's what's going to be setting the stage on Sunday, as a switch is gonna be flipped, where a lot of moisture should just take place across the Caribbean and then start to push into Jamaica. And we can also see the clouds associated with that other frontal system's tail end right here across the northern portion of North Atlantic. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, November 21, 2024. It was stated that dry and sunny weather would have continued today all across the island, from the east to the central portions to the western portions, as well as the northern and southern portions. And we know that northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. Eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? At 3:56 p.m., a post was made right here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So you can definitely see what was posted at around 3:56 p.m. That was the visible close-up satellite image of Jamaica, and it highlighted some clouds, bringing some maybe partly cloudy, if not some overcast skies, to section of Portland, section of St. Mary, St. Anne, section of Hanover. Definitely got some of the cloudy conditions. But look at the south side, clear across St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew. Section of St. Thomas got some partly cloudy skies. Section of Trelawney definitely clear for sure, and we can see it all playing out right here on the visible satellite images of the day. I mean, this is the definition of variable. Look at the low level flow on the south coast right here from south to north. Look at the low level flow on the northwestern side from north to south. The winds don't have a specific direction going at all. There's a lack of moisture as well in the atmosphere, which explains the lack of rainfall that we've been receiving today, and the lack of winds. Didn't have much in the way of winds, and the air is so dry. The sky is so blue. I'm sure that you've been seeing that as well. So the dry air definitely leads to the very blue skies, but we don't have the Saharan dust at all. We'll be talking more about that later on. If we take a look at the infrared satellite images, just some milky whitish clouds here and there, nothing too significant, especially off to the east of the island. And if we take a look right here at the live cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing halfway through at around 2:52 p.m. today, we can definitely see halfway through, definitely getting in on the sunny conditions. For sure, that was what was predicted, and that will definitely continue into Friday as well. Look how blue the sky is. Definitely what was predicted is what's taking place. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica. They show live streams of halfway tree all day, every day. Not only halfway tree, but the Kingston Harbor, Flat Bridge. We're talking about Crossroads, Barbican, the panoramic city view. And they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today. I'm pretty sure that most of these clouds brought more in the way of overcast skies than anything else. If not, maybe just some isolated tubs of rain here and there, maybe across Portland. It's clearly more so across the northern or inland areas of the island. Maybe somebody in Portland could confirm if it actually rained there today, but I'm more inclined to believe that it was more overcast than anything else. And we definitely have the comments coming in confirming the overcast skies. On our Facebook page here, we have Roxanne Campbell stating overcast in Trelawney, Tony Dandelion stating sunny. Even on our Instagram page, we had the comments coming in. With a comment coming in right here from Hot Diva 114, sunny in Portmore, call underscore her underscore Toms 876 stating sunny and cool in Kingston. Birthday gonna be lit if this weather continues. We also have another comment here coming from Marsha Diamonds, sunny Manchester, my lover of crunchy munchy stating very sunny. We also have Sassy underscore Sep 13, sunny in Clarendon. Altibu Collection, very sunny in Kingston. We have Designer's Pride, cool in St. Catherine. Bona underscore Bay, sunny in St. James. We also have Natalie Marshall 451 loving the sunshine. And finally, we have Sja underscore girl 876 S stating it's been sunny all day in Montego Bay. As a matter of fact, let's see if we have any comments coming in on our YouTube page on the community feed, because I made a post there as well. Okay, we have 2 comments coming in. Alright, so one right here from Young Khalifa Brown 1395, beautiful sky. And we have Kathy Graham 123 sitting overcast and a bit chilly. Send some sun. Okay, I guess you're in one of those northern parishes that was getting in on the cloud cover. Alright, so let's just take a look at what's happening right now across the island in terms of what's being shown on the infrared still image. The latest image just came out at 23:45 UTC, so that's 6:45 p.m. So this just came out, 13 minutes ago, considering that it's 6:58 p.m. right now. And we're still not seeing much change, just some milky whitish colors right here, especially after the east of the island. Unfortunately, it looks like the Cuban Doppler radar images have glitched out again, this time at 11 a.m. this morning. But we definitely see the isolated dots of rainfall right there between Jamaica and Haiti, and that's basically where we've been having all of the cloud cover for sure. This morning when we woke up, definitely cloudy for the most part. Oh, look at that. I think it's back, but it looks glitched. I don't see it moving. It's stuck right there at 6:40 p.m. But look at that. I think we can make out some of the rainfall associated with the cold front in and around the Cayman Islands. Can definitely see that. We can see the clouds right here on the infrared, so I guess it's starting to match out. Let's see what the latest from the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar Imagery is showing. Some isolated showers between Jamaica and the western peninsula of Haiti, and the blues, the greens, the yellows represent some light to moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall. Even on the Cayman radar now, look at the latest. Let's reload these images so that we have the very latest. Let's see what's happening on the Cayman radar. Alright, we can make out some rainfall, the blues, the greens to the north of the Cayman Islands. We can definitely see that flow. The moisture definitely pushing to the east associated with that cold front, and it's definitely going to be making it into portion of western Jamaica late on Friday. If we take a look at the live camera, the panoramic city view, pushing towards halfway through, we can see the transport center right there. We can see New Kingston over here. Definitely we can make out all of the lights for sure. Definitely gonna be a fair night for the most part across Jamaica. We can see the latest is as of 7 p.m. That's the time right now. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can still have 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about 22 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18D on Friday. That's about 1 p.m. on Friday, and we can definitely see how cool the temperatures are expected to be across especially the eastern US. That's deep into the greens. Look at the key. This is anywhere from -8 to -13 degrees below normal. That's crazy. That's what they're getting in on. So if you have friends or relatives who live in Georgia, who live in South Carolina, North Carolina, they're definitely getting in on the cooler than average temperatures. Far cooler than average for sure. Freezing kind of temperatures. But this is what Jamaica is going to be getting in on tomorrow. So clearly we're getting in on more of the grays. We're starting to get in on some of the slight blues associated with the cold front, especially after the west of us. Just some slight blues. Represents 1 degree Celsius below normal temperatures, but for the most part on Friday it's going to be the zeros that represents average temperatures. And what are the average temperatures for the month of November across Jamaica? Around 88 degrees Fahrenheit for November across Jamaica. And when calculated to Celsius, 88 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 31.1 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30 to 31 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's high temperature on Friday. And if we take a look here at the My JPS online, because remember we highlighted this, we started highlighting this because Boy, the lack of electricity can definitely cause these temperatures to be crazy, especially if we don't have electricity to power our ACs and fans. But we can see that it definitely jumped over Thursday. They don't have any outages expected on Friday or Saturday. It jumped right over those days and headed right into Sunday. So the next outage maintenance is going to be across portions of St. Elizabeth, and it's going to be a lot of areas. For Sunday, we have Magati to Balaklava, all roads leading off Magati to Niagara, and all road leading Cameron Hill, YS Fall, Caris Brooks, Lacovia, Middlesex, Middle Quarters. If you live in that or those areas, or you know of anybody who lives there, tell them that a power outage is coming their way anytime between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. on Sunday, November 24. So if they have plans to wash with the washing machine or iron, whatever the case may be, tell them to get cracking on Friday, if not Saturday. Okay, alright. Alright, so in order to beat the heat, you know the drill. If it's going to be a bit too hot for you throughout the day on Friday, try your very best to seek shade when you're outside. Eat fresh fruits. Try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits. Rest. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. So take a cool shower or a bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated throughout the day. So many people are wondering why they keep getting sick. Why is this happening to them? And they don't even realize that it's because they're hydrated. Hydration is the main or the number one issue, guys. Put away the sugar drinks. Drink water instead. Drink water throughout the day, all day, every day. We don't want any heat-related illnesses at all. If we take a look at the dry air map, so clearly the cold front is coming in, and it does indeed have some moisture, especially right there stretching from Central America all the way up through to Cuba and the Bahamas, which explains all the rainfall that's going to be experienced across the island late Friday into Saturday. But as of right now, we're still getting in on the yellows into the oranges that represent some amount of dry air. You can see it being represented by what we see on the key on the bottom, all the way up into the reds and the whites. Within those reds, that represents the driest air, and we see the driest air right behind the cold front. That's where all of the very cold dry air is off the east coast of the United States. But where the clouds are associated with the cold front, definitely some moist air in general. Lots of rainfall coming in, especially for Western Jamaica, late Friday into Saturday. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Friday right here, we can make out that North America, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, the Caribbean, Northern South America, Central America, definitely all still in the clear. Jamaica right here, we're all still in the clear because all of the browns that represent the Saharan dust should be across Africa and the eastern portions of the main development region. We hope it all stays there because, you know, the Saharan dust can cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, and we don't want that at all. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, not much change. The central to the eastern Caribbean getting on more of the lighter shade of blues that represents anywhere from 0 to 0.5 meter wave height. The western Caribbean getting on more of the dark blues into the slight purples. That's because the winds are going to be starting to come in associated with the cold front. We see that strong northerly flow across the western Caribbean, with the winds averaging anywhere from 15 all the way up to maybe 25 knots, as we can see by the key on the bottom right, while the rest of the Caribbean getting in on the weaker winds, anywhere from the 5 to 10, maybe all the way up to 15 knots. And we see the flow especially across the eastern Caribbean from the east, curving northward and curving southward right there for sure. But in terms of the close-up of Jamaica regarding these winds, we see the winds are starting to come in a bit from the north, especially on the north coast. So we're starting to feel the effects of the winds associated with this cold front. So northern Jamaica starting to get in on some of the action. Wouldn't be surprised if the waves start to kick up. We always hear about these high waves lashing Hanover and St. James. That definitely could be possible over the next couple of days. We see the south coast not getting in on more strong winds, more of a southwesterly kind of flow. So we're still kind of getting in on some variable winds on the south coast. some northerly or northwesterly kind of winds on the north coast, averaging looks to be 5 knots, maybe up to 10 knots at most. Nothing too significant. And we can see that the upper level wind shear is still coming in from the southwest, so it could definitely still favor more of the cloud cover over northern Jamaica, if not the isolated shores. We highlighted this yesterday, so we could still get in on more of that action across northern Jamaica more than anything else. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS, they are both valid for 8 a.m. on Friday. And what do we start to see? The blues represent rainfall coming into the view. Right there off to the west of the island, we start to see the blues. That's rainfall for sure. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with that. Skipping ahead now to about 6 p.m. on Friday. So I guess throughout the day, not seeing much happening. Maybe some isolated shores here and there in some inland areas of some eastern, central, and western parishes. But we start to see most of the brunt of the rainfall coming into view across western Jamaica. This is 6 p.m. on Friday on the Euro. We start to see more of the rainfall coming into portion of Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James. Maybe spilling into portions of Trelawney, St. Anne. The GFS still keeping most of that rainfall out to sea, but it's definitely starting to come in. We see that as we head into 9 p.m. much of the same: Westmoreland, Northwestern St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney. GFS starting to incorporate some of these areas as well. So we're starting to get in some of the moisture associated with this cold front coming into portions of western Jamaica. And we know what's going to be happening next. That moist northerly or northeasterly flow definitely going to be bringing more of the rainfall to especially northern parishes as we head into late Friday into Saturday for sure. And then remember what's going to be happening on Sunday. Lots of moisture starting to build across the waters of the Caribbean. So get ready for all of that rainfall to come as we head into Monday, Tuesday. A wet week is on the way for sure. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the next 24 hours from the Euro and the GFS model, we see not much rainfall across the island at all. Most of the rainfall should start coming in across especially western Jamaica late in the evening hours. So in the evening hours, late in the day for sure. So clearly, just like what the 1 hour totals were showing, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James section of Trelawney going to be getting in on the rainfall. GFS not picking up on much of the rainfall yet, but that could definitely change with the updated maps. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall. Rainfall is definitely always a good thing as long as it's not too much at once to cause tremendous flooding, because it's not cute to have droughts and water restrictions and hillsides burning to a crisp. It's always a good thing. It's always a good thing to have rainfall for sure. And we can see that for the month of November in Kingston, we usually receive up to 50 millimeters of rainfall. That's what, 2 inches of rainfall. For the month of November in Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 5 inches of rainfall. That's 125 millimeters of rainfall. And I can say for sure that we've definitely exceeded the amount of rainfall for the month of November so far, given what we experienced with Raphael and some of the rainfall from Sierra when it was on its way to become Sierra. And we can definitely see more information regarding the rainfall that we usually receive throughout the year from this website right here. This is weatherandclimate.com. So if you live in Manchester, if you live in Hanover, and you'd like to know what your parish receives throughout the year in terms of rainfall, you can visit this website, and you can use this nice little graphic right here that I got from the Hurricane Center's website that converts the rainfall that we receive from inches to millimeters. On the rain gauge, we know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, the clouds associated with the frontal system, the cold front, coming into portion of the Western Caribbean, definitely lashing portion of Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, section of Cuba, section of the Bahamas, getting on some of the action as we speak. We see the clouds associated with a trough-like system right here, touching from the eastern Caribbean to the central Caribbean right there. The usual thunderstorm activity right here across portions of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, southern Venezuela. The clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone squashed to the south of the main development region right there. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let us see what's happening. Alright, so we can make out that there's not much happening across the eastern British Virgin Islands, St. Martin or St. Kitts right now. But the waters to the east of Antigua and Barbuda getting some isolated showers. Some rainfall right there in and around Guadeloupe, Montserrat. We see some isolated showers right there across portions of eastern Puerto Rico. And if we load these images from 120 today, we see that not much was taking place at all across the Leeward Islands. But we definitely saw it's taking place across portions of Guadeloupe. I guess there's an outage at the beginning of the image. Because where did all of this rainfall come from all of a sudden? Yes, the Barbados radar was down because here we go. Lots of rainfalls taking place for sure across the waters in and around Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique for sure. Section of eastern Puerto Rico, we're getting in on some isolated shores. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can make out that rainfall to the southeast of Guadeloupe, to the east of Dominica, coming into a portion of Martinique right there. Some isolated shores passing to the south of St. Lucia. Some isolated shores coming into a portion of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Not much across Grenada, just some isolated showers coming in from the southeast. And we don't see much happening across Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe some isolated shores right there coming into a portion of eastern Tobago, but not much happening across Trinidad at all. If we take a look at the weather via Doppler radar images, we can make out some isolated showers to the north of the ABC Islands across section of northwestern Venezuela, in and around Colombia, to the east of Nicaragua right there. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast maps, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected within the next 24 hours. And we can see the isolated showers in store for portions of the Bahamas with the greens and the yellows, having to do with that cold front for sure. We see the moisture to the west of Jamaica for sure associated with the cold front pushing eastward. We can see more moisture affecting the Cayman Islands tomorrow. Section of Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, section of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, western and southern Venezuela, section of Guyana. Let's see what's happening on the other months. Yes, some isolated shores for coastal areas of Suriname and French Guyana. We can also make out some rainfall definitely in store for portions of Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, section of St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, maybe a section of Montserrat getting in on some of the action too, as well as sections of Puerto Rico and the eastern portion of the Dominican Republic. And we know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.